Ever crack open one of your old journals? It's like you're an archaeologist or something, right? Brushing away the dust of time, uncovering these forgotten stories.
Oh, I like that. That's a really good comparison. They really are like our journals, little repositories of our past selves, aren't they?
Totally. And for those of you who are with us for our first deep dive into, this whole journaling analysis web app thing, we're all about digging up those hidden gems. Well, get ready for round two, because this app, it just keeps getting better and better, especially for those of us who are, how should we say, a little more committed to the written word.
Oh, absolutely. This is not for your casual jotting down a thought kind of person. This is for like serious writers, the
Yeah,
hardcore diarists, the ones who make bullet lists for their bullet lists, the type. Anyone who takes their journaling seriously, they're the ones who are going to get the most out of this, I think.
for sure. And there's a lot to get out of it, trust me.
Yep.
Last time we talked about how this app can analyze stuff like your emotional trends, even your relationships, all just from the words you're already writing down, which is kind of wild. This time, though, we're going deeper. They got this whole new multi-tier summarization thing. Have you seen this?
Oh, yeah. It's a game changer, especially if you're someone who's been keeping journals for years, like decades even. Think about it. Boxes and boxes of notebooks, each one a little piece of your own personal history. I mean, where do you even start with all that?
Right. It's kind of daunting when you actually try to picture it,
Yeah.
all those words. But that's where it sounds like this new feature comes in handy. Instead of going through and summarizing like each day, one by one, this thing can look at a whole bunch of entries together and just give you like the condensed version.
Exactly. It's like imagine taking a stack of novels, and somehow boiling them all down to just the core themes, except it's your life instead of made up stories. And the coolest part is it doesn't just throw everything together in one big jumble. You can organize it by time, too. So, say you're curious about how your thoughts and feelings and all that changed over a year, or a month, or even just a week. You can do that.
Okay, so let me get this straight. I could pull up, say, all my journal entries from, let's be real, my super angsty early 20s.
Mhm.
And instead of reliving every little dramatic detail, I could just get like the high-level overview. That's kind of amazing.
That's exactly it. And especially for those of us who, use our journals for more than just keeping track of what we had for lunch. If you're looking for self-reflection, personal growth, that kind of thing, that big picture perspective is so valuable. There's this one quote from a user that really stuck with me. They said it was like, finally seeing the forest for the trees of their own mind. Isn't that great?
That's really powerful. I love that. It really gets at how this app, it's not just, crunching numbers or whatever. It's taking something as personal and complex as a journal, and it's actually helping you find these like deeper layers of meaning in it.
Exactly. And it's not even just about like identifying these big overarching themes, It can show you things like how your writing itself changes over time. I mean, think about, it's really interesting. They actually used it to analyze entries from Samuel Pepys, the diarist.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I think I remember them mentioning that, what they find. I can't even imagine what it would be like to like live through something as crazy as the Great Fire of London, let alone keep a journal about it.
Right. I mean, talk about stressful. But yeah, so they took his journal entries from that time, and it turns out his emotional tone, like the actual words he was using, just like tanks. You can see it in the data, plain as day. But the really cool thing is you can see it start to recover slowly in the weeks and months after the fire.
Wow. So he basically created this like emotional timeline of one of the most intense events in history just by writing in his journal. That's kind of incredible.
It really is. And that's the thing, right? That's the power of this whole approach. It can reveal these hidden patterns, these connections in our lives that we might never have even noticed otherwise. And let's be real, especially for writers, especially those of us drawn to journaling, our emotions, that's our bread and butter, right?
It really makes you think, like, what would our own WN emotional timelines
Oh,
look
man.
like, If we could just map out all the ups and downs, see the patterns.
Right. It's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it. I mean, even those little throwaway entries, the stuff you jot down without even really thinking
Yeah.
about it, those could be the key to some bigger picture.
Okay, but let's get practical for a second. For those of us who are, shall we say, intrigued by the idea of channeling our inner Samuel Pepys, how does this multi-document summarization thing actually work? Do I need to be like a data scientist to figure it out?
Not at all. Honestly, it's way simpler than you'd think. So basically, you just tell it what you're looking for, right? Like you can put in keywords, dates, whatever you want to narrow it down, and then you get to choose how you want the summary to look. bullet points, different writing styles. They've got options for days.
This is kind of like I just hit go and let the algorithm do its thing.
Exactly, like having a whole team of little digital archivists, except they work way faster. And get this, they've done studies, and it turns out using this can cut down your analysis time by like almost 90% compared to if you were reading all the individual summaries yourself.
Hold on, 90%. Okay, that's huge. For anyone out there who's got a journal backlog that could rival the Library of Congress, this is a game changer.
Oh, absolutely. And the best part, it's not about replacing the actual experience of sitting down and reading your journals, you know? You can always go back to the original entries. It's more like, think of it as adding a new tool to your writer's toolbox.
Yeah, I like that. It's about getting more out of what you're already doing, not replacing it. Oh, and speaking of getting more, did you see they added that thing where you can compare word clouds from different time periods?
Oh, yeah. That's so cool. Like you could compare, say, a month where you were totally slammed at work with like a relaxing vacation, just seeing how your language changes, how your whole emotional landscape shifts. It's amazing what patterns emerge.
It's like holding a mirror up to your own mind, right? So, on the topic of revisiting the past, what about that new multi-document summaries browser? For those of us who can barely remember what we had for breakfast, let alone a year's worth of journaling insights.
Tell me about it, right? Well, this browser thing, it basically lets you go back to any of your old summaries, and it gives you all the context you need, what dates you were looking at, what you were searching for, everything to catch you right back up, like a highlight reel of all your biggest self-discoveries.
This is all so fascinating. I don't know about you, but it really makes you wonder, what LSE could we learn if we started looking at all our writing this way? Emails, projects, even those half-finished novel ideas we've all got tucked away somewhere.
Right. The possibilities are kind of endless when you think about it. And it really speaks to how powerful this technology could be, not just for understanding our past, but maybe even shaping our future. But for now, I think a little trip back to our own journals is in order, wouldn't you say?
Couldn't agree more. So, to all our listeners out there, grab those journals, find your favorite pen, and get ready to rediscover the stories you've already told. Until next time, happy writing, everyone.